Once again, we are now faced with the unenvious position of saying PC culture has gone too far. Now, I understand that a statement like that is very historically charged, and that has been used to justify, well, basically everything. But this, however, does not mean that it is impossible that PC culture can go too far. Case in point, there is a mural of George Washington which depicts him as a slave owner and all the other, terrible things that he did, genocide of natives, etc. Now, this mural accurately represents what happened. He was these things. The founding fathers were not these holier-than-thou, holy angels who were the greatest freedom, blah, 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 right-wing nonsense. The truth was far from that. In fact, they were slave owners, they were genocidal maniacs. But I digress. So you would think that having a mural that accurately represented the origins of some of these individuals, particularly George Washington in this case, and thus by proxy the origins of the United States, would be a good thing. But apparently that's too offensive for some people. No, it's not angry rightists who believe that the Founding Fathers didn't do anything wrong, but liberals who are offended by depictions of slavery and genocide. Okay, I understand that bothers you, but this is what happened. This is historical fact. In fact, I kind of called this last year when I said that, what are they going to do? Just erase Hitler from history books or erase video footage of the Holocaust because it's offensive? Yes, the Holocaust is offensive. And yes, Hitler is offensive. But it's historical fact. And you can't just erase historical fact just because you find it offensive. Or think that history is not open to review or reflection because it's offensive. Well, now here we are. The truth about one of the founding fathers now is trying to be removed. They're trying to have the mural taken down, painted over, whatever, because the depictions of what happened are offensive to some. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that it's probably upper middle class, white, liberal college students or university students. I'm going to guess it's probably them. Most black radicals I know wouldn't be okay with simply covering up the truth like that. The truth is offensive, but the truth is the truth. Historical fact is historical fact, no matter how bad it is. And that's something that should not be forgotten. I mean, what is it that these college students want? Or these people who want that mural taken down, what do they want? They want the idealized version of George Washington back, crossing the Delaware, in all the legendary status and stories and whatnot. Well, they would tell you no. They want the truth. They want the fact that the Founding Fathers were terrible people. They were genocidal maniacs who held slaves. But when you depict that, when you put that somewhere in a public place where that would enter the popular consciousness of the public, where it needs to be, people need to be aware of this because there's a significant portion of the population that doesn't want to hear it. When you get in a public place where it can reach them and become a part of their consciousness, these people get offended. So what is it? The terrible history of the United States, or terrible history, offensive history in general, is something reserved entirely for academia? We're not going to let kids learn about it in grade school or high school because that's not appropriate for children. So let me guess, it's only those of you who have the rich enough mommy and daddy to buy them through school or the people who bury themselves in debt for the rest of their lives to go to school, are the only ones who should know about what's going on. I mean, this is almost like some Animal Farm level BS. Not a fan of George Orwell, but I think you get the point I'm trying to make. The point is, the truth is the truth. And if the history is bad, then the history should be remembered and not repeated. And unfortunately, isn't that what we're seeing in the United States right now? Many people looked at what happened in Nazi Germany and said, how did you not know? Why did people go along with this? Why were they happy with their neighbors being taken away in the middle of the night for their racial makeup and disappeared? Well, we're looking at that right now. How did Hitler continue to put through such totalitarian measures and still be popular? We're looking at it right now with Donald Trump. We're looking at people being locked up based on the color of their skin. But Jason, I'm sure you're quick to say, it's not about race, it's about being in the country illegally. It's about illegal immigration. Then where are all the Europeans that are in the country illegally being locked up? Because it's not down there in the detention centers. In fact, I don't really see them anywhere. According to one estimate I saw, there's about 650,000 Europeans illegally in the country. And yet every time we see one of these camps, they're all Latino. Where are the illegal white European immigrants? Well, most of them are walking around free. I'm sure you'll probably find some of them have been arrested. But are they being rounded up en masse the way Latinos are? No. And in the future, if we have one, are we going to look back at this time and say, well, we shouldn't talk about, the brown people being locked up because that's offensive and that's racist? And it certainly is. And you should be offended by it. And that should be considered racist. What, are you going to pretend it didn't happen? You're going to whitewash history to make it more... No, it's not even politically correct. In fact, politically correct wouldn't even be the right term here. This is just whitewashing, pure and simple. This is like the opposite. This is terrible. I always like to use the phrase, I don't believe in politically correct. I believe in being correct politically. I don't believe in creating something or phrasing things in a way that are comfortable for people, that they don't get offended. I believe in finding the correct political line in order to forward the liberation of people, even if that does offend them, even if there are facts in there that people don't want to hear, even if there's imagery or language that bothers them. Because that's what this is. This is a war for the future. And guess what? In war, there are casualties. And if the only casualty you suffer is being offended, consider yourself lucky. Because in that war, you don't have to die, for the most part. And if we didn't have this problem, then we wouldn't have a war for the future. I think you can understand what I'm getting at. So I think the mural should stay up, because I think people should see what history is, what history does, and if we whitewash it and pretend it never happened, like many of the Trumpsters are right now, then we're doomed to repeat it, as the Trumpsters are right now. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.